What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Xbox at the Game Awards. So hopefully by this point, I've already done the PlayStation video of what I think PlayStation will show. Now it's time to do Xbox. Now, in case, you don't watch the other side, things like that, which makes sense in my head, let me go over some ground rules. So the first thing that I also said with PlayStation, I'll say it here, Jeff Keighley normally doesn't play favorites, right? Now, there's normally, actually a good amount of Game Pass ads, but, there's always, the ad breaks, and Game Pass just happens to be an ad. So there are those, but generally, in terms of brand new announcements, things that people are going to be talking about, he doesn't like to play favorites. Companies have talked to him about that in the past. He's talked to companies in the past, and the general idea is that he's not coming into the Game Awards to be a PlayStation show, to be an Xbox show. So the reason I spend so long saying or talking about this is if you're expecting 6, 7, 8 announcements, if you're expecting it to be a mini PlayStation showcase, a mini Xbox, event, that's not what it is, right? It's never been that way, and he's specifically addressed that point. So, kind of cutting right through the fluff here in terms of what I want to talk about. Really, in my opinion, the two games that make the most sense to be here for Xbox, I do kind of want to focus on two. I think PlayStation will have 2 or 3. I think Xbox will have 2 or 3. I think that's a safe number. I think that, it's not too much, but it's also not nothing, right? I think Fable and Doom Eternal. Now, I'm kind of going in order, but I guess I'm skipping around. I do think Indiana Jones, okay? Stay with me here. I know Indy technically comes out 3 days, I believe, before the Game Awards, right? To everybody, standard access comes out the Monday, the 9th, right? Early access actually comes out, I think, the 5th, and then Game Awards is the 12th. I feel like that could still be there as some sort of trailer. I think that's more normal for a Gamescom or Summer Game Fest than it necessarily is the Game Awards. So that was just something I want to throw in there. I'm not too confident on it. I just think, well, maybe it's possible that it's so new, it literally just came out, that maybe you would still have and you're not showing it off. You're not saying, oh, here's a brand new look at freaking Indiana Jones, the game that you can all play. Just some sort of recognition where it's hey, this game just came out and it's a big Xbox game. That's just something to kind of throw in there. But the main two, I would say, I think they would actually kind of skip Avowed. I think they would go straight to, and we don't know when Doom and Fable are coming out, but we imagine 2025. I think those games have the name and have, well, I kind of everything that you would want, right? It's got the name recognition. Fable would be that big Xbox exclusive. Doom is coming out on both, right? That's not going to play favorites with the exclusivity and stuff. But Doom has a huge name, huge legacy. So does Fable. But I think, you also serve a different, one's an RPG, one's a shooter. I think that makes a lot of sense. They also have the closeness factor, right? These are, again, you skip Indie because it would have just come out. Avowed, you maybe show Avowed, maybe you don't. South of Midnight, we just got the previews for that as well. But then you look at 2025 after Avowed, and you have Fable and Doom the Dark, which I think would be two very, very big games of the entire year, right? It's also got that. I mean, it's two games that are very close. Now, if you wanted to go wild, okay, if you wanted to go crazy, you could do something for Halo. You could do something for Gears, right? I mean, we saw Gears E-Day back in June, and, it was a very beautiful trailer, and, kind of sets the tone and sets the stage. But, if remember when that actually came out, there were rumors that game was maybe trying to come out late 2025. So Gears of War somehow might actually be only a year and a half, 2 years out, which would be kind of wild, right? You could show that. That would, I think, be a big thing, the big thing. But I don't know. I think Doom is also huge, and also Fable is too. I think Doom is probably bigger. I mean, that's just kind of my own maybe personal bias. But those are big games. They're games that are very, very close. I'm trying, even when I talked about PlayStation, I think I said Horizon multiplayer was a really good candidate that I thought for that. And again, that kind of stemmed from, there's opportunities to do games that are 3, 4, 5 years out, and there's a Cory Barlog PlayStation game, or Gears of War, say it's 2 years away, or Halo even further. Yeah, that gets people talking. Yeah, that gets people excited. I mean, he does that too. He definitely, you'll have 1 or 2 games that's 4 years out. But generally, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm trying to think in my head, most times they're not the exclusives. When you, well, you know what? I mean, you had Blade. Blade was last year, and that's probably an exclusive, and that game's 4 or 5 years out. But when you think about Wonder Woman, when you think about Star Wars Eclipse years ago, I mean, there was Marvel's Wolverine, but that was at the PlayStation event that they showed that, and we're still in the waiting period. Wolf Among Us. I mean, I'm trying to think of some of the bigger Game Awards games that were announced. Mass Effect. I mean, actually, yeah, you can keep going. Alan Wake, when it was announced, probably had like 2-3 years to go. So he has done games that are like 2+ years. That's not a surprise, but they tend to not be exclusive. Really, Blade might be one of the only ones in my head, at least off the top of my head, that I can think of. So I don't know. It was kind of a theme I was trying to go along with PlayStation and Xbox. I imagine they're not going to be games that are like so far away. I think he would keep it within like 1-2 years. And I don't know. I feel because you're also close enough that you could do like a Doom release date. You could literally give release dates for both Fable and Doom if you wanted to do that. Now Xbox might hold on to them, and they might do like I think normally January, February Xbox does like that developer kind of direct where they jump around and they give more info. Avowed was there. I think Hi-Fi Rush was there the one time. So they like to do that. I would say like you could wait till the Xbox event in June, but like by June, well, Fable and Doom are not out by then. Well, obviously they're coming out, the second half of the year. I guess that makes sense, right? Maybe you can actually read into it. If those games are not at the Game Awards, maybe they're saving them for June, and then maybe they're not till fall 2025 type games. I think again, like if you're just going order, I think Avowed does stand a chance to be there. But we've seen so much of Avowed. It looks good. Like I'm actually very excited for Avowed. I plan on playing it day one. But it's I don't know. We've seen so much of it. I don't really think it moves the needle all that much. And South of Midnight, I do actually think is a pretty fascinating game, and I'm kind of interested in that one too. We just saw it, like literally like 2 weeks ago. So I feel like kind of again how close that has been. I don't know if that makes sense to do either. And then again, you kind of like land yourself on these two really big games. So those are my two for Xbox. I already gave you the couple for PlayStation. Hopefully I get like one or two of them right. That's kind of what I'm shooting for. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure as always you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.